Hey guys, it's Alex here, and in today's video, in response to the massive drop in the markets over the past week or so and the crazy quarantine situations happening across the world due to the panic of the coronavirus, we are going to be going over 7 recession-proof industries that you can invest in so that you know if things do continue to spiral out of control over the next couple weeks and the next couple months, you have some safe places that you can put your time, your efforts, and your money into that won't be hit super hard by a recession. Before I get started, I wanted to ask you for a quick favor, and that is to hit the like button down below. It would really help me as I'm trying to grow this channel and expand my audience, as well as hit the subscribe button down below if you enjoy this video and want to see more awesome content on things like real estate, investing, and entrepreneurship. Now, as the making of this video, the coronavirus has caused a major panic. Italy has been completely quarantined, the NBA season has been suspended indefinitely, restaurants and bars have been closed in most major cities, including where I'm at here in Southern California, and major companies like Apple, Amazon, and Google are implementing mandatory work-from-home procedures. This is absolutely insane. I have no idea what is going to happen if this thing continues to spread and continues to spiral out of control. People are really freaking out. I'm freaking out because we have never seen anything like this in our lifetime, and no one really knows what's actually going to happen, which is pretty scary. But with great panic also comes great opportunity, and it's important to realize the phase that we just may be entering. Some of the greatest fortunes in the history of mankind have been created during economic downturns, and this could be one of your greatest opportunities ever to start building wealth. Now, the industries I'm going to be sharing with you here are not necessarily all industries or businesses that you'll want to think about investing in or getting involved with, but this will give you some food for thought on industries that typically withstand economic downturns because people can't live without them. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Number 1, food and grocery. This one is rather obvious. People cannot live without food, and it's always going to be one of the first things that they buy when they're limited on resources. People will kill in order to feed their family, and it's always going to be something that's a priority in the budget. While certain parts of the food industry do tend to decline during downturns, it's usually the higher-end restaurants and luxury dining spots that are going to end up seeing a dip in revenue. When times are tough, people are going to compromise on their eating out habits, but most grocery stores will continue to thrive, and I imagine lower-end restaurants and fast food joints as well. Number 2, vices. This is one that you may or may not be particularly comfortable investing in or being a part of, but needless to say, industries that serve addicting products and services will continue to sell lots of units. Alcohol and cigarette industries are 2 that come to mind, but also things like candy and other sugar addictions will still drive people to find room in their budget for these types of things. People's habits and conditionings cause them to need certain things, and going into these stressful times, they are going to want these things even more, so you can expect these industries to continue to grow quite a bit. Again, don't invest in anything that you wouldn't be comfortable supporting, but take this as food for thought. Number 3, accounting. The accounting industry is another relatively safe industry during any kind of economic lag. People are still going to be paying their taxes, even though it may be a little bit harder than before, but the government is always going to be involved in collecting money from the economy. And accountants are the backbone of helping them do this, so it's certainly a safe industry to get involved in, both as an investor or as an operator. If you're trying to figure out perhaps a career path to go into, or maybe you're transitioning and wanting something that offers a little bit more stability during all kinds of market shifts, then this is a good one to think about. Number 4, healthcare. Healthcare is another industry that will most likely be able to withstand any kind of economic downturn, especially one that is sparked by a global virus or something along those lines. It's no secret that the healthcare industry already has extremely high profit margins, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it's the way that it is, and it can be a great investment to make. Pharmaceutical companies are some of the most profitable in the world, and will continue to be so, because a large portion of the drugs and the pills that are served to our consumers are funded by insurance policies and government programs, and this is mainly for people that can't afford them. But needless to say, it's always going to be available, and people are always going to need their medicine, which is why it's going to remain a top priority, and it's going to remain top of mind for the consumer. Number 5, repair services. Repair services are probably not one that you would have expected to make this list, but it's one of those things that people will continue to need even if we go into any kind of recession. I mean, sure, certain things you'd be willing to go without and maybe hold off on calling the repairman for, but think about all the things that you have in your life that if they stopped working, it would be a major pain. Things like your water heater, washing machine, refrigerator, and your primary vehicle come to mind. These are things that even if we are tight on money, if one of these breaks, we are immediately making it a top priority to get fixed because of how much harder not having it will make our life. This is why repair services is a relatively recession-proof industry. Number 6, thrift stores. So this is one that I wasn't sure if I would add to the list or not, but I decided to go ahead and do so. Thrift stores are already pretty popular with folks as it is because people love a good deal, and unless you're a germaphobe, you probably don't care if someone else has used it a time or two. These types of places will attract even more business during downturns because in addition to their already raving clientele and cheap inventory, they will attract a new wave of customers who may only think about coming to these places during times when funds and resources are scarce. Any other economic market and you'll only find these customers at the mall or at Kohl's buying the so-called good stuff, but during a recession of any kind, thrift stores will thrive. And number 7, storage units. Storage units will continue to be one of the best forms of real estate to buy. The reason for this is because they have low maintenance, no inventory, and minimal labor is needed. Storage units will continue to thrive during any kind of recession because they are low cost and people usually have a ton of crap in there that they're not willing to just move on a whim. To go through the hassle of selling off or getting rid of all your stuff just to save the 70 or 80 bucks a month on the storage fee is just not worth it for most people. Not to mention, lots of people tend to downsize in some way or another during an economic contraction, and with less space in their home, they may need a cheaper option for storing all that extra stuff that they're just not ready to get rid of. Storage units are the answer. Whether strong or poor economic times, consider investing in storage units. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this and you found it helpful in any way, it would mean the world to me if you could hit that like button down below. Again, it helps me as I'm trying to grow this channel and expand my audience. And of course, if you want to see more cool content on things like real estate, investing, and entrepreneurship, go and hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.